Good morning, students. Today we would be revising another topic from drafting of pleading and conveyancing, that is writ petition. Everything I've already taken up in detail in class. Today we'll do a quick revision of this topic. Now, when we talk about writ petition, so what is a writ is the first thing. So as I've already told you, writ are a written order from Supreme Court or High Court that commands constitutional remedies for Indian citizen against violation of their fundamental rights. So now where are they given? So they, in the Constitution, Article 32 and Article 226 talks about these writs. Now, if we first talk about Article 226, Article 226 is read with Article 227, and these are the part of a constitution which define powers of High Court. Now, students, if we talk about Article 226, it empowers the High Court to issue to any person or authority, including the government in appropriate cases, direction, directions, orders, or writs, including writs. So you think you are understanding writs are not exhaustive. It means direction, orders, or writs, which include writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, certiorari, or any one of them. So this is the power of the High Court defined under Article 226 of the Constitution of India. Now it can be issued against any person or authority, including the government. So this is clear. So now this is the constitutional power of the High Court to issue writs in in the violation of fundamental right as well as for other legal right. And these writs include writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto, certiorari, or any of them. So as I told you, the power of writ is given to both Supreme Court and High Court. Supreme Court, the power is defined under Article 220, Article 32, and the High Court power is defined under Article 226. But there is a difference between the two. So a court publishes a writ, which is a formal written order. The Supreme Court or High Court issues any warrant, order, directions, and so. These are writs. Now, one can file writ petition in High Court under Article 226 or to Supreme Court under Article 32 of Constitution of India. But the difference is that in case of Supreme Court, you can file for writ petition under Article 32 only for violation of your fundamental right. The power of High Court with respect to writ jurisdiction is more. It is wider and extends to other legal rights also. So are you understanding the difference between the two? Article 32, you can file a writ petition under Article 32 to Supreme Court only for violation of your fundamental right. But under Article 226, you can file a writ petition for violation of fundamental right as well as for other legal rights. Now, we would be, before we talk about, writs more, students, there are five prerogative writs, that is extraordinary writs guaranteed or granted by a sovereign as fountain of justice due to inadequate legal remedies. It may be noted that High Court have wider power, which I told you under Article 226 of Constitution, and there, it has to be understood that there are various writs, but we will be talking about the five writs which are specifically mentioned under this article. So if we talk about specific writ, these are the specific writs which are there in under Article 226. So the first writ that we would be talking about is the writ of habeas corpus. The word habeas corpus literally means to have a body or to produce the detinue. So habeas corpus is a writ requiring the body of a person to be brought before a judge or a court. In other words, it is a prerogative process for securing the liberty of the subject which affords an effective means of immediate release from unlawful, unjustifiable detention, whether in prison or in private custody. It's also been said many a times that this writ of habeas corpus is the key that unlocks the door of door to freedom. The High Court and Supreme Court have got wide power for protecting the liberty of the subject under Article 226 and 32 respectively of the Constitution. Then the next writ is the writ of mandamus. Now mandamus literally means command. So it is a high prerogative writ of the most extensive remedial nature. The Supreme Court and High Court have power respectively under Article 32 and 226 to issue this writ in form of command directing any person holding public office under the government or statutory bodies or corporation or to an inferior court exercising judicial or quasi-judicial function to do a particular act pertaining to his office or duty and which the court issuing the writ considers to be right of the petitioner and in the interest of the justice. So it is not restricted to persons charged with judicial or quasi-judicial duty only. And it is issued only when there is a specific legal right but no specific legal remedy to enforce that right. Then the third writ that we would be talking about is the writ of prohibition. The writ of prohibition is an order directed to an inferior court or tribunal forbidding such court or tribunal from continuing with the proceeding on any cause or matter. It is an appropriate writ to restrain a tribunal which threatens to assume or assumes a jurisdiction not vested in it so long as there is something in the proceeding left to prohibit. And we'll be talking about difference between prohibition. So next writ that we would be talking about is writ of quo warranto. Now, writ of quo warranto, it is a writ questioning a right of a person holding an office of public nature and directs him to show an authority under which he is holding such office or exercising the right. So, writ of quo warranto simply means by what warrant or by what authority. And this writ is issued to inquire into legality of the claim of a person or public office. So, then the next writ that we would be talking about is writ of certiorari. Now, writ of certiorari may be issued to any judge, magistrate or person or body of person or authority vested with judicial or quasi-judicial function. An order of certiorari is an order directing the aforesaid authorities and requiring them to transmit the record of proceeding in any matter to High Court to be dealt with there. So, writ of certiorari literally means to be certified, and this writ can be issued by Supreme Court or High Court for quashing the order already passed by inferior court, tribunal or quasi-judicial authority. Now, what is the difference between writ of certiorari and writ of prohibition? The difference is that writ of prohibition is issued to restrain a tribunal from doing an act before it is actually done, while writ of certiorari may be issued during the course of proceeding of an act and even after the act is done and proceeding is concluded. Then when we talk about mandamus and prohibition, mandamus commands activity while prohibition commands inactivity. Both can be issued to person or body or tribunal if charged with judicial or quasi-judicial duties. So this was small introduction and small recap of what all we have done in class. So these were the writs. Then when we talk about I told you in the beginning also Article 226 is to be read with Article 227. Now what does Article 227 talks about? Article 227 determines that every High Court shall have superintendence over all court and tribunal throughout the territories in relation to which it exercises jurisdiction, except a court formed under the law related to armed forces. So here we are talking about superintendence of High Court over all other court. The High Court can, under Article 227, what can it do? Call for return from such court, make and issue general rules and prescribe form for regulating the practice and proceeding of such court, Also, it can prescribe forms in which book entries and account to be kept by the officer of any such court, and also settle table of fees to be allowed to the sheriff and all clerks and officers of such court. So this is the power of superintendence of the High Court over all other court. Now, when we talk about the format, which is most important because the subject is drafting of pleading and conveyancing. So here, drafting of writ petition is very important. Now, if we talk about here, I have given you a format of a writ petition under Article 226 of Constitution of India, and you would also get an assignment on the same. So, how do we do that? Now, first thing is that you will write the name of the court, then the writ petition number, and then under which article are you filing this writ petition, that is Article 227. District, which district, for example, if I am filing a case in Allahabad High Court, it would be Allahabad. Then all the details of the petitioner and all the details of the respondents. Here you can see that there are 3 respondents, so all the details must be mentioned. So if we talk about this, this is the first part that has to be there whenever you are drafting a writ petition. This is the first part. And what are we doing in the first part? We are writing the name of the court, we are writing the writ petition number and the year of which that writ petition is filed, then under which article have we filed it, then the district, then all the details of the petitioner and the respondents. Then next part that we would do is we deal with your submissions that you are making in the court. This is the second part. Here what are you writing? The humble Chief Justice and his other companion judges of the aforesaid court. And this is the humble submission on behalf of the petitioner. Okay. Then next what we would be writing is the grounds of filing this writ petition. Okay, this is the third part. That is the grounds for filing this writ petition. Then last is you would draft your prayer. This is the fourth part. Then the date and the signatures of advocate and other things. This is the fifth part. So if we talk about the first part, we talk about the formal part, the name of the court, article, district name, details of the petitioner and respondent. Then second part would contain all your submission that the plaintiff is making, right from telling the court the details of FIR or bank details, whatever thing that is required in the case. Then you would write the ground for filing this particular writ petition. Then you would write the prayer, and then the last part would be the date and other formalities such as signature of advocate, so on and so forth. So students, this was all about writ petition. If you have any query with respect to this, please ask me. And this is one topic that we have already done many times in class. And not only in this semester, I have taught you the same topic under professional ethics also in last semester. In this semester also we've done this topic twice in class, and again today we've done a quick revision of the same. So but still, if you face any problem, please feel free to contact me either through mail or WhatsApp group. Thank you.